I speak, over 30 care homes are currently going through investigation. Carers recruited from abroad subjected to widespread exploitation in the UK. This is an unfortunate story, but I'm really grateful that the UK government and also the Home Office is currently looking into this and to see how this can stop. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rafael. If you're joining me for the very first time, I'm so happy to have you all in our beautiful family. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos. I really do appreciate. God bless you. If you're new to this channel, I create content on how you can migrate to the UK, jobs with visa sponsorship in the UK immigration updates, live in the UK, scholarships in the UK, like everything you can think about the UK. So if you're someone who is interested in such content, do hit on the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so each time I upload a new video, you're definitely going to be the very first person to see that video. So guys, let's quickly dive right into today's video. So as earlier mentioned, guys, this is a story of someone who was promised a job, came to the UK, and there was no hours for the person. And bear in mind that this person has made some payments to the organization that brought her from overseas. So this was published on the 26th of October 2023, just as you can see on the screen. Carers recruited from abroad subjected to widespread exploitation in the UK. And like I said, that this lady and other carers as well who are going through this were employed from overseas, and some of them actually paid money for their employment and they got to the UK. All they were promised never came to pass. A major nationwide investigation into modern slavery in the care sector is now underway, according to the Gang Masters and Labour Abuse Authority. And as I speak, over 30 care homes are currently going through investigations. The Gang Masters and the Labour Abuse Authority, which is the GLAA, told Sky News the health and care worker visa system is being abused by criminals, leading to a constant stream of allegations of fraud and modern slavery. Like I earlier mentioned, that over 30 care homes are currently under investigation. GLAA Senior Investigating Officer Martin Plimer said there are more than 30 ongoing investigations into care agencies operating illegally, and that his organization still doesn't know the full extent of the problem. It's our number one priority at the moment, he said. It's the one area, the sector of business, because we deal with labor exploitation, where we have the most intelligence coming into us. Care is by far the number one issue for us as an agency. Just to let you know that a lot of care homes as well are losing their licenses, and once a care home is being investigated by Home Office, it's always very hard for them to pull through, to be honest. You can see he added 2 years ago the care sector wasn't on our radar at all, adding that cases shot up since February 2022 when the government added care workers to the country's shortage occupation list, allowing people to be recruited from overseas. Carers now accounts for 2 in 5 of all skilled work visas. And just in case you don't know, the care worker visa was added on the 15th of February 2022, and to be honest with you, since it was added till now, I would say even this year, lots of things have been going on. Employers and agents promise employees that they've got hours, and all of a sudden once they get to the UK there is no hours because they are operating illegally. And what most of these people have done is, when the government added the care home to the shortage occupation list, a lot of people that were not even care owners started opening their companies and apply for licenses. The Home Office approves it, and before you know, they start operating as licensed sponsors. But now I think the Home Office is really taking their time to go through all these care homes, especially the newly registered care homes that were not operating as care homes before the care worker visa was introduced in 2022. So established nationwide with the intention of exploiting workers desperate to come to the UK. And we know a lot of people are desperate to come to the UK. So even when they tell them that you have to pay this amount, you see that they are really struggling to pay. And bear in mind that there are also fraudulent people, there are also scammers that even after you make that payment to them, you don't even get a genuine C.O.S. You either get a fake, and when you apply for your visa will be refused, and you will even also have a 10 years ban, which I have seen a lot of people gone through that. As you can see, the sole purpose of these criminals is to use these people as cash cows. They are running businesses at a much reduced cost because they are not paying them what they are supposed to. They are also charging them excessive fees, just as you can see. Sky News has found several victims of this practice across the country. We've previously reported how human traffickers are using the skilled worker visa route and how foreign care workers are left destitute, relying on food banks to survive. Some of those illegal recruiters are based in Britain, operating fake and fraudulent care agencies. Mary, not her real name, told us she began looking for work in the UK in order to support her sick husband and teenage son. She was working in the Philippines but thought she could earn more here in the UK. So Mary is not her real name, like you can see. She found an online advert for employment with a care agency in the north of England and had a successful interview on Zoom with a director of the company. She said they then told her to transfer £4,000. You can imagine, like, a director having an interview with you and also asking you to pay £4,000, a fee which is illegal for recruiters to charge under UK law. In return, she was provided with a certificate of sponsorship outlining her offer of 39 hours a week as a carer and allowing her to be granted a health and care worker visa. So I spent a lot of money and I cannot go back, from what Mary said. Mary said she used all her savings and borrowed money from her sister and a friend, but she believed her salary would provide a better life for her family back home, just like a lot of people who have migrated to the UK. I know people have sold their properties, they've sold their lands, they've sold all sorts of things, and only to get here, all they were promised were not given. You can imagine the frustration of starting a new life in a country that even the job you were coming for is not even there. So it was only when she landed at the airport in England in July, just this past July, and was met by her recruiter that told her there was no job. How would you do that? If you know you don't have a job, why would you take £4,000 from her and you still bring her to the UK to do what? This is really sad. Since then, she's been given accommodation in a shared house and a small food allowance, but not a single day of the paid work she was promised. And if you remember, I had filmed a lot of videos about this care work and so on. A lot of people are already stranded. Some do not even have accommodation, and some that the company have said, don't worry, I'm going to provide you with accommodation. They end up sharing room with about 5-6 persons. And imagine sharing room with people that you've never ever met before. As she described her situation, she became tearful. We need money to pay my debt in the Philippines, she said, and also I need to support my family because they are relying on me. And like we all know that most people that come to the UK to work, if you're coming from an African background or any other background that you know that once one person is in overseas, whole family member are going to rely on that person, not even knowing what that person is going through. This is Mary's case, because she had borrowed money and she's not even working, and people back home are still depending on her, and she still have to pay the money she has borrowed. She said her fear is trapped under the terms of her visa. She's only allowed to work full-time for her sponsor, and any part-time work limited to 20 hours extra has to also be in the care sector. Like, you know, you're only allowed to work 20 hours but still in the care sector, and people are actually struggling with this. Now the problem is a lot of care homes, they've got the hours, they don't have the people to work because they don't sponsor people from overseas. And now the ones that usually sponsor people from overseas, they don't even have the hours, but they keep sponsoring people, which for me, I don't think is reasonable. That you bring people to the country, you've promised them, probably you've taken money from them, and you should give them what you've promised them so they can start making that money, which you know that it is even illegal for you to take that kind of money from them. And at the end of the day, you bring them here and you still do not even give them the job. It's really bad. I don't support that. It's not good. So from what Mary said, my family does not know my situation here and I don't know how to tell them. She said they will be upset. I spent a lot of money and I cannot go back. She added, saying her best hope is trying to find a legitimate care organizations to transfer her sponsorship. Now, what you can do if you're in this situation, sleep on the licensed sponsors list and try and contact as much care homes that you can contact, to be honest, because if you don't do that, then it's definitely going to be a big problem. So always make sure you're on the licensed sponsors list and you're checking job adverts on Indeed, Adzuna, Total Jobs. You will see a lot of job adverts that you can apply to. But now, one thing you need to know is that if you do not drive and you're job hunting, it could take a lot of time, because most of these care homes are currently looking for drivers. Like, I know a particular care home that said if they can drive, then we can employ them for free. We are not charging them anything because we need drivers. So please, if you're currently in this situation, I would advise that you start looking for a way to start your driving license, so that in case you find a care home that is willing to sponsor you, at least if they ask if you're a driver, you've got that, you've got your driving license, and you can just jump on it for free without having to pay any money for your sponsorship. So just as you can see on my screen, but it is one of several agencies which only began operating after the government changed the visa rules for carers. It remains on the list of government approved sponsors for overseas hiring. Like I earlier mentioned, that most of these companies who are doing this are the companies that just open just for the sake of bringing people from overseas without having any proper hours for them. So they will do a free shift. Sky News has spoken to several care homes who describe being bombarded by calls from new care agencies with names they don't even recognize. One care home administrator in Northwest England said, "We probably get about 4 or 5 calls a day asking if we need agency staff, and a lot now are phoning and offering that they will do a free shift." You can imagine. As Sky News filmed at the care home, a man and a woman went through from the pouring rain, knocked on the door, hoping to find some work. They were turned away. So a lot of people don't even have anywhere to work. They are looking for a way to even work for free. Then maybe if the employer wants to give them anything, the employer can decide to give them. The woman from Pakistan said in broken English, "We are looking for work permits. Like most of the care homes are giving work permits or jobs. Very close to people trafficking." Neil Rosa runs PJ Care Homes, which has homes in Milton Keynes and Peterborough. He told Sky News, "Over the last 6 to 8 months, we've seen an increase in approaches from care agencies offering staff to cover shifts. Some of the approaches are very desperate, almost begging us to use them. These new agencies feel a little bit fly by night, and it's quite concerning that we could end up with somebody working here who's not got the clearance, not got the right training, and could end up damaging or harming one of our residents that we are trying to provide care for." So his company offers legitimate health and care worker visa sponsorship, but last year he paused overseas recruitment after discovering an agent he paid to find staff abroad had also illegally charged a worker for her visa. So you can imagine, like I usually say, that a lot of people that are causing this problem are the agents. Even if they care, because most times the organization will say, "Okay, we are looking for people that will work for us." Now the agent sees it now the agent sees it as a way of collecting money from people. He just goes to advertise Euro, gets money from people, and send them to the care organization without even letting the care organization know that he or she has collected money. He's very, very close to people trafficking. He said about a practice he now believes is whispered in his industry. So how much bogus recruiters are charging workers? He said, "We are talking about 15,000 and then we are paying the same amount. 30,000 to bring somebody over." A Home Office spokesperson said, "We strongly condemn offering health and care worker visa holders employment under false pretense. The government does not tolerate illegal activity in the labor market, and any accusations of illegal employment practice will be thoroughly looked into. Those found operating unlawfully may face prosecution and or removed from the sponsorship register." Like I earlier said, that a lot of care companies are currently undergoing investigation right now. So I would advise that if you're even in the UK, always check the licensed sponsors list, because what the employers are doing, they are not even going to tell you that this is what is happening. Even when the name is removed from the register, most employers don't even talk about it. In fact, there is one that I'm even very much aware of right now, and I've already told him that if he does not respond to his employees and tell them what to do now that the license has been revoked, that I will film everything about him and people will get to know him and know how much he took from people. So this is what is going on right now in the UK. Before you pay any agency for anything, you have to be very careful. Like this story of Mary, she paid £4,000 and getting to the UK, no job, there is nothing for her to do, and from what she said, she's also still owing back home. So you can imagine the challenges she may be going through. So the good thing is that the government is really looking into this, and And like I said, on daily basis, a lot of care homes are losing their licenses. I'll be sharing some care homes that have recently lost their license with you in my future videos, so you can also be aware and try not to have anything to do with them. So guys, this is what it says. This is from Sky News, and I'm really grateful that the UK government and the Home Office are working closely to see how they can bring all of these illegal activities to an end. And one thing you should always do before you apply to any company, sometimes it's really good to see when the company was registered, because most of the companies that are into this are companies that were recently added to this licensed sponsors list, which means that they were registered after the care workers visa was added to the shortage occupation list, just for them to make money. So guys, we've actually come to the end of this video, and I hope you find it helpful. And if you do find this video helpful, please do like and share with your friends and loved ones. This may just save somebody. And until I see you in my next video, guys, do take care and have a lovely day. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.